Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King, and today I'm going to be giving you part 3 of What If Naruto Was a Godlike Genius with Chakra Technology. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform, and also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the final episode of What If Naruto found the Uzumaki Curse over in Anime King 3, and enjoy that guys. And over in Anime King 2, I post the final episode of What If Naruto got special training as a child, so go ahead, check out that and enjoy it as well guys. And remember, for new, yes I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King 2, and Making 3. Well, 4 channels. I also have Anime Prince, which I post what if on every single day on all of them guys. Yes, it might sound crazy but it's not, so go ahead, check out those and enjoy. So without further ado, what do you say we jump right into new episode start? The intro guys. So the last spot we left off, Naruto was checking out his chakra board as he proceeded to fly straight up in the air, but when he came back down, the board crashed hard in the ground. Well, test number 1 was a complete failure. So with that, he made his way back as he remembered what the fox had told him. He had spoken to the fox. The fox was keeping things away from him as Naruto didn't really want a relationship of such with the fox, but well, they were stuck together. However, the fox told him that he was finding his life rather interesting. He also said that his life amused him, as Naruto tried not to pay him any mind. With that, the AI informed him that the mapping of the structure was finished. As Naruto was mapping out the elemental nation, he was starting with the land of fire first. One of his clones came back and he seemed to have poisoned by some kind of, well, element that Naruto wasn't sure of yet. So he had to put on a very advanced hazmat suit. It was one of Orochimaru's bases as Naruto found uranium. AI told him that they could do some amazing things with this, so Naruto was able to harvest thing and locked it in a box. Inside the box it was a space-time, well, seal, so no matter what happened it would not be able to leak out or affect him. So with that, he brought it back towards its location. As AI started to do some more research on it, as she told him that she might want a bigger house and a bigger lab as well. It seems like he also made her a bit too feminine as she started to like those things. And also hearing Sakura's voice was becoming a bit too much for him, so he was gonna tweak it a bit. As Naruto went over to Ame and they slept together. After that he returned, as AI was telling him all the wonders that the uranium shell bring if they were able to crack it. As Naruto went towards the cannon, he was rather shocked because inside there was so much uranium. Having his clones put on the suit, they went down there as they started to collect the stuff. It was really a lot of it, as it took them a while to gather it all. After that, they all brought it back, as Naruto started to go over the notes that he also found in Orochimaru things. Orochimaru was up to a lot, as Naruto found a rather complex seal. As he went to the Hokage after that, it turns out that his parents did have a mansion outside the village. Both him and Hiruzen got into talk, as Naruto had to go to the academy, so he went there. After going to said academy, him and Aruka got into an argument because Aruka did not believe that he was gonna pass, as most of his phrases were sent towards Naruto saying that he wastes majority of his time and he did not attend the classes. However, Aruka did not know how smart and capable Naruto was. Naruto lost his cool a bit as he told him that he was gonna pass, just to rub it in all of the people's faces that believed that he was nothing. As Naruto believed that he was better than all of them, so he didn't really give a damn, but he lost his cool against Aruka. The Hokage told him that he should sort things out there because he might be going on missions in the future. However, Naruto said that the Hokage would just change it for him, but Hiruzen told him that he will be coming to an end soon in his things, as the man didn't have the will to live anymore. His time was up. The more time went by, the older he get and the sicker he got. As Naruto didn't like to talk about the morbid thing, but he understood what the man was saying. But the man could have some doctor's work on him, but Hiruzen said that his time was coming and delaying it was not the best option, as it was just going to cause him more pain, it seems. So with that, Naruto went out to clear his head, as he came across Anko. Coming across her, Naruto decided to chat her up a bit as they went to her place. He ended up talking about her seal as that pissed her off, but he was able to calm her down, saying that he would find a way to remove it. But she didn't believe him, as she didn't know what Naruto was capable of, not to mention he was still in the academy. Despite him being 18 years old, he was still going to the academy, as he was going to graduate in roughly 2 days. After all, the test was coming up. However, she was able to calm herself down as they got to talk, as they went to sleep together once again. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the play, check it out for yourself. So what do you say we jump into this new episode, guys? Begin now. The alarm clock started to blare as Naruto opened his eyes. He was still at Anko's place, which was nice. She had told him that she had set the alarm clock for around 6 in the morning when she was in the village. He groaned. He was still tired from last night's activities. At least Anko let him copy the seal on a piece of paper. This was going to take some time to analyze and break down, and he was planning on doing that as soon as he passed the exam today. He stared at Anko's naked body, as she had a smile on her face but her eyes were closed. It seems that the alarm didn't have an effect on her, as he leaned towards her ear. "I'm gonna go," he said. She groaned and mumbled, but he was sure that he heard a okay in there. As Naruto got dressed and made his way back toward his house. "Good day to you, sir," AI voice said as he entered. "And I assumed that it was a very tiresome night," she said, as Naruto wondered where she was getting all of this sarcasm from. All he could mumble was coffee. "I shall get that for you right away, sir. Or at least make it, because I don't seem to have a body. However, would you like to hear about what I did yesterday night?" she said. "Was it as fun as what I did last night?" Naruto said. "If you think that sex is fun for AI, then you are greatly mistaken, sir, because we have no such interest in that. But we did do a lot of research last night. Also, the cleanup squad is finished, so we are ready to move. I have prepared a list of things that we need. It's on the display module." As a list of things pops up, it was chemicals, mostly chemicals. He could get most of this from a local chemist, so there is not anything too outstanding. There were several machines that you could find in a chemical lab, nothing too fancy. I could get all of these, although moving them would be a hassle, and some of these things can only be found in the capital city. As he walked towards the coffee maker and picked up the coffee, as the thing rushed down his throat, as he moaned in satisfaction. "Also, sir, we found scroll for a few moves, including swordplay, which you do not seem interested in. There was also an interest in hand seal, free jutsu that seemed powerful, and also a space-time teleportation ninjutsu." Naruto spat out the coffee. "What? Is there something that you did not understand, sir?" Naruto had done a lot of reading on space-time ninjutsus, but none of the book he ever read got the answer for him. They could open dimensions, yes, and throw things in there, yes. No human being was actually able to teleport from one place to another, though, since his father, and the formula was apparently lost. "Sir, you have read about this. It's a flying thunder god that your father designed." "That is a scroll that we found," said AI. "You mean to say that my dad did not even hide his ultimate jutsu?" said Naruto. "If it was him, he wouldn't want anyone to know that, ever. It was written in a scroll in the event of his death. The only person should open it was you, because he believed that you're the only one that can surpass him, and make this technique even better than what it currently was." As Naruto was surprised at that, as he couldn't believe his father left a note that actually said that. He wasn't one for emotion, but he was oddly touched. "I would love to take a look at it, AI, but later. Today I have an exam to pass," said Naruto, as he pulled out a piece of paper that he had sketched a curse mark on. "Memorize this, AI," he said, "then work on analyzing it. I want to get a solution to the seal, so make this your first priority," he said. "I'm sure the notes that the snake man left will be good enough to work with it." Time skip. "Alright, Naruto," said Haruka in a tired tone. "So you managed to throw 20 knife on target, even though the test was on 10, and you were able to ace the written tests. All you have to do now is create a clone, and you will pass. Although your grades are not enough to make you Rookie of the Year, this test should be enough to put you close to the top half, if you manage to make a clone, that is." Because of his chakra, it was almost impossible for Naruto to make a normal clone. That is why he had to create 500. Aruka's eyes started to twitch violently. Only 3 were necessary, but it seems you're going overboard once again, Aruka said. No shit, said Naruto, as he dispelled the clones. I suppose you proved me wrong. You pass, Aruka said, as Naruto walked up and picked up the headband. I haven't proved you wrong yet, he said. But I'll do that soon, he said as he placed it on, as he winked at the two-stunned Chunin who were assigned to examine him as he left the room. Time skip. I passed my exam, said Naruto, as he walked in. As he didn't feel too happy about that, it was just the academy graduation exam and it wasn't too much. However, he liked the look on Aruka's face when he realized what he could do, and he was planning to do so much more for the future. Congratulations, sir, said AI. However, as Naruto could clearly hear the sarcasm in her tone, because she knew that test was beneath him, it seemed that the more knowledge she absorbed, the more sarcastic she got. It was hilarious most of the time, but when it wasn't, it was rather disconcerting to hear a sarcastic, artificial intelligence. I know what you're trying to do, said Naruto. It was a really easy test, even for someone not of my caliber. But for me, it was simple as asking me to breathe. I was always gonna ace it. Now tell me you move forward on something or the other, said Naruto, as he was talking of course about the cursed seal of heaven that was on Anko Midarashi's neck. It was a strange seal, of course Anko decided not to ever use it as she had it sealed off. It let Orochimaru take control of the body that the seal was imprinted on. It is a fascinating seal, but it will take time to break it down. Would you like me to dedicate all of your resources to this? Because at the moment you have a cleanup squad that is double checking their work, and you have some clones trying to buy things that will go in our lab. Plus, with your newfound ninja responsibilities, it's gonna be more time that you won't have to dedicate to your work. As Naruto had looked at the seal as well, it was more of a genetic thing, and it was not going to be something that was going to be easily removed. He hadn't seen it in action because she had it sealed, and she swore that she would never use it. So all he could go on was the documented, written down in the book. And those were the early effects of the seal, when Orochimaru was just starting it out, and that one was far more advanced than he had an uncle. As he wondered how he was going to cure illness when he didn't even know what the illness did. As Naruto thought over what AI told him though, and she was right. They needed more time to do the things that they want to do, and once he became a ninja that would be even harder on his time. Even with clone progress, this was going to be tiresome and time consuming as well. He loved to read and assimilate knowledge, and he loved that more than even coffee and ramen, because that was his thing. And he felt like once he became a ninja he wasn't going to be able to do his thing, and that was rather disappointed. Go as you are, AI, said Naruto. There's a lot of time. There's going to be a while until we need a solution on this thing. I'd rather we start to move to the new house as soon as possible. There was a knock on his door. As Naruto turned towards said door, slightly annoyed. My system tell me that he's your teacher, Mizuki Todai. Of course something like this was gonna happen. People always wanted something, but they were always nothing but mere unimportance. Maybe your neighbor would drop by and ask for a cup of coffee. Some sugar, but Mizuki was not his neighbor. And he was not from around here. And he was definitely not here for a cup of coffee. So it seems like he does want to get something out of me, huh? Naruto thought to himself. Mizuki hadn't liked him, but he pretended to be nice this entire time. As Naruto was not gonna let Mizuki into his house, so he opened the door and shut the door behind him. He looked at the silver-haired bastard standing there with a fake smile on his face. When Naruto opened the door, Mizuki had tried to peep in. But he supposed he couldn't be blamed for that, he was being secretive. And Mizuki was obviously curious. But Naruto wanted to know what the hell his former teacher wanted from him, and he was in a hurry to find out. Are you not gonna let me in, Naruto? Mizuki asked. As Naruto shook his head no. He wanted to say over my dead body, however he settled for, the apartment is a mess today, Sensei. But obviously I don't want to waste your precious time, so what is it that you want from me? Would you like to be the Rookie of the Year? Mizuki asked. As Naruto wanted to slap this man right in his face. Did he really believe him to be that stupid, to be ignorant enough to want a title like that doesn't really mean a damn? This man was obviously trying to set him up for something, but he would see how far this goes. As he simply nodded his head, not trusting himself to speak at the moment. As Naruto put on the best acting face he could, as he nodded in a rather enthusiastic way. There was a hint of a smile forming on Mizuki's face. What you need to do is quite difficult, and if you get caught, you could be kicked out of the ninja program forever. But you and I both know that this is a risk that you'll be willing to take, said Mizuki. Here this man was telling him that he knew him and he did not even know him at all. However, keep calm, he told himself. You know me too well, Mizuki-sensei, he said, maintaining that fake smile on his face. So what exactly am I gonna have to do to earn that title, said Naruto. Well, it's not gonna be easy, but if anyone can do this, it's you. You have the ingenuity to pull it off, Naruto, he said. What do I have to do, sensei, said Naruto. Are you ever gonna get to the point? Ever the time saver are you? Well, let's get to the point. You need to go and steal a scroll of sealing. Why do you want me to do that? Isn't that some kind of forbidden scroll that is tucked deep inside the Hokage's office, Naruto said. Mizuki nodded yes, and that's a test. Only a handful have taken it, and you have not heard of them because they got caught and then they were gone. And that is what happened if you will fail. They will make you disappear. As he was giving him a warning, it seems. That is why you have to work extra hard to get the scroll of sealing. There can be no slip up, no mess up. You have to go in and get out without anyone noticing you. Otherwise you fail. And where am I going to bring the scroll, said Naruto. You have to master a jutsu from the scroll and then report in the forest nearby and show me it. And then I will decide if you're worthy of passing, said Mizuki. Don't worry, said Naruto, I'm gonna get that scroll. And I'm gonna master a jutsu, he said, as he turned and walked back inside. You have to move tonight, said Mizuki, as Naruto nodded before he shut the door. Surely you don't believe what he told you, AI said. Of course not, AI. Come on, are you kidding me? I build you, and you think so lowly of me, said Naruto. As Naruto realized that he never investigated Mizuki. And now he wanted that scroll maybe. He wanted it for someone else. Someone a lot more important than him. After all, he was nothing special. As Naruto thought about it, well, there has to be a blank scroll laying around, right? Naruto asked AI, and almost immediately a clone that he created a long time ago walked up to him and handed him a scroll. Right, so now I need to know what the scroll looked like, said Naruto. He shrugged. He was just gonna ask the old man himself. Time skip. You want to have a look at the scroll of sealing, Hiruzen said. Yep, said Naruto. Naruto always asks for some outrageous things. Once he asked for a building that no one is using, as Hiruzen had directed towards a building that will be demolished in a couple of weeks. Later that night there was a huge explosion, as half of the building was set on fire. Sometime Naruto experiments got out of hand. Naruto, you do know that you just asked me for a house 2 days ago, and I gave it to you even though there should be some proper channels to go through. But I was, oh come off it old man, said Naruto, as he sipped on the coffee. God damn it, your secretary doesn't know how to make a good cup of coffee, he said. The woman who was in the room at that time shot him a dirty look before she left the room. What have I told you about riling up my staff? Don't do it, said Naruto, a bit sheepishly. And yet you never listen, Hiruzen said. Now what is this seal business? You do know that there's a lot of secret jutsu on that I cannot let you look at, right? I don't want to open the scroll, I just want to see what it looked like from the outside, said Naruto. You see, there's a certain art involved, even when you're designing a scroll from the outside, so I just want to make sure that it's perfect. So come on, show it to me. Naruto Hiruzen said, I have lived for too long, and I have dealt with people that want to sell rock to a bunch of stone shinobis. So don't think that your bullshitting's gonna get you anywhere. Now tell me, what do you want it for? Fine, said Naruto. Well, someone told me to steal it so I can be promoted to Rookie of the Year. Immediately, the old man sprung up into action, as he was leaning back a moment ago relaxed but now rage in his eyes. Mizuki, Hiruzen said. As Naruto nodded, it seems like the old man must have been following Mizuki for some while now. I had my suspicions, but he seemed clean, Hiruzen said, which is why I pulled the tail I had on him a day ago. As Naruto slapped his head on his forehead, and he probably figured out about that tail that you placed on him. Don't you have Anvu for this kind of shit? Why do you send some lame upstart ninja to trail someone that can possibly betray the village? As he took another sip of coffee. Seriously, will someone teach her how to make a proper cup of coffee? Naruto, tell me what he told you. What does he want exactly? Well, he want me to steal a scroll obviously, and he's dumb enough to believe that I'm actually falling for it, said Naruto. He also think I'm doing it because I've been watching my back, and I'm not being tailed right now. I believe that he is gonna kill me and try to blame it all on me or something like that. This has gone on too far, Hiruzen said. Why were you here then? Well, I was gonna give him a fake scroll, and then watch his face as he realized. As Hiruzen saw that the old man was serious, well, it wasn't time for jokes. I was actually gonna openly take the bait, and then follow him towards his so-called leader. You mean to say that he's working for someone else? Mizuki is too low level to dream this big, and the fact that he chose me, of all people, shows that he's really stupid, or maybe blinded for his hatred by me. It's pretty obvious that he's not in this for himself, and he expects a reward. Having me blamed for the scroll of sealing is probably just a bonus for him. As Hiruzen went quiet for a few seconds. This is a grave situation. And what you were gonna do was incredibly stupid. It's a good thing that you told me what you wanted to do. As Naruto simply smiled and nodded, not sure if the old man was angry at him or worried for him. I am sure that you know who Mizuki worked for, right? Said Hiruzen. I might have an idea, said Naruto. Now might be a good idea to tell me your ideas, Hiruzen said, as Naruto took another sip before he grimaced. If you hate it so much, throw the damn thing away, Hiruzen said. Pah, as Naruto pushed it aside. Alright, listen, Mizuki is like me, an orphan. He doesn't have the courtesy of knowing who his parents were. They were probably dead long before the Kyuubi attack, right? Mizuki's parents were not from the village. The old man told him. During time of war we had a recruitment policy where we brought in orphans from Land of Fire and trained the ones with the most potential to become talented ninjas. Mizuki was one of these people that had potential, and that is why he was brought in, said Hiruzen, as Naruto had a foul taste in his mouth now, and it was not because of the coffee. So much for behaving like you're a paragon of mortality, old man, said Naruto, as there was no jovial tone in his voice. War make you do things that you're not proud of, Naruto. And I pray you never realize how true my words are. It is what the older generation do. It is what they fight for to make sure the younger generation never has to go through it. This is not the time to go through morale, obviously, said Naruto. And there we have it. The scroll is in possession of many treasure technique. And we have the guy that works on a lot of orphan and is basically known for having forbidden techniques under his belt and experimenting, said Naruto, as a concerning look came on Hiruzen's face, as he understood exactly who Naruto was talking about. Yep, your favorite student. Well, that is what the history book said at least, said Naruto. He used to be at one time, Hiruzen said. It was obvious when it came to Orochimaru, there was plenty of regrets that Hiruzen had. What are we gonna do, said Naruto as he broke the silence. We are faking it then, Hiruzen said. I will spread the word around 3 in the morning, and that is your cue to head to the forest. So don't screw it up. Good. And after this is done, we'll talk about rewards, said Naruto as he jumped through the window. Okay, Hiruzen said. Wait. What rewards? He asked. It was too late though, as Naruto was already gone. A secretary came back in, as she came to take up the tray with the cups. That's the last time I'm making him coffee, and you can tell him that yourself, she said, as she left with a huff. Time skip. Where are you going, Uncle said. 5 minutes ago they were both in bed and now he was getting dressed. Work, said Naruto. Work. In 3 in the morning, huh, she said. You know, I don't expect a relationship. You can be honest and tell me you don't want to wake up next to me. As her voice sounded oddly hurt. It wouldn't be the first time I heard that. Uncle, I'm not dodging, and there's nothing better than waking up with my face buried right in your chest, he said. But, seriously, I'm leaving because you're gonna leave as well, he said. Wait, what? She said, moving the covers. What are you saying? I'm saying please promise me that you're gonna keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything, just do what you're told, he said. I don't understand what you're saying, can you please? He walked up and kissed her, cutting her off. I'm going to come back around 6 in the morning and then we're gonna screw each other's brains out. Just promise me that you will follow the orders that you're given until then, okay? As Uncle looked at him, You're really weird, she said. Alright, fine. I'll follow the orders that I'm given, she said. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Great. That's my cue, said Naruto. Poof! As a metallic board appeared beside him. It was red, with golden color all over it. Don't open the door while you're naked because I don't think I like other people looking at you like that, said Naruto. As he jumped onto the board. That's weird, he said. Usually, I prefer back door entries, but window exit are great too, he said, as the board shot through the window with him on it as he was gone. As Uncle shook her head as she heard another knock. as she quickly put on her robe before she checked who it was. When she opened the door, Kurenai Iwai and Asuma Sartobe greeted her. Her night clothes were obviously revealing because Asuma immediately averted his eyes as Kurenai stared at her. The Hokage has summoned as a train-grown 8, apparently. Naruto Uzumaki stole something, and we need to go look for him, she said. As Anko stood there shocked, as she did not know how to react to any of this. Time skip. It's cold, said Naruto as he shivered a bit. He has been in the forest for about 10 minutes now. His clones around the perimeter told him that Mizuki had taken the bait and he was coming. These communication devices are coming in handy, sir, said AI. What about the clones at the tower, said Naruto. I got pinged from one of them there, apparently. The defenses there are a threat board. Everyone has been pulled from the building. There are 2 or 3 Chunin standing around guard at the building, but the clones had a field time sneaking in. You will get pinged once we finish the job, said AI. Good, said Naruto. I kinda feel guilty about doing this, but the old man never has to know. The old man never has to know what, said the voice, as Mizuki appeared. Well, the fact that I spit in his coffee yesterday, said Naruto. I feel kind of bad for doing that. Mizuki just laughed, as it seemed like he was in a hurry to get the deal done. So, did you learn the jutsu, Mizuki said. Sir, there was a problem. The Hokage came back to the building, and we couldn't get the whole scroll. But we got away, undetected. I doubt that he suspects anything. Shit, said Naruto aloud. Naruto, if you didn't learn the jutsu, then I'm afraid you're gonna have to get blamed for stealing the forbidden scroll, Mizuki said, as Naruto bowed his head down, showing that he was ashamed of his behavior. However, if you don't want a bad enough punishment, hand me the scroll and we can talk about leniency in your punishment. Yeah, that's not gonna happen, said Naruto as he hid the scroll behind him, as he quietly swapped himself with a durable clone. All those years of practicing without hand signs regarding his jutsus were gonna come in handy today. Naruto, are you seriously gonna do this right now, said Mizuki. Come on, if you don't want to get punished, you're gonna have to hand over the scroll to me. Yeah, I'll pass on that. I'm not going down for this, the clone said, as he got into a fighting stance, as Naruto smirked where he was from the tree. Naruto, you're a genin, a rookie. You're not gonna be able to take me down, said Mizuki. But then again, as he pulled his kunai, you were never really that smart to begin with. I passed the exam without even studying for it, despite people like you sabotaging me throughout the exam, said Naruto. As Mizuki raised an eyebrow, I can't believe that you caught on to that. I always thought that the other teachers were doing a bang-up job, but then again, they were all taken away from the academy. I always thought that it was Hokage looking into that, but I guess I was wrong. Well, on that you're wrong, said Naruto. I did tell him. And I also told him a bit of things about you as well. You might think that you're a clever spy master, but actually, I'm 2 steps ahead of you. Actually, I'm 1,000 steps ahead of you, and a lot of other people, but I didn't think a fly like you, an unimportant waste of space, would dare do something like this. I didn't think you have the balls for it, said Naruto. Mizuki snarled as he threw the kunai towards Naruto, who effectively dodged. What did you teach us at the academy about not letting emotions get in your way when you throw your knives or shurikens? Naruto said in a mocking tone, as Mizuki pulled out another kunai. Before you miss another knife through, tell me, what has a snake bastard promised you? More power? Maybe entry in his inner circle. So you know who my master is. Big deal. Your smarts aren't going to help you all this time, said Mizuki. And you are not the only one that knows secrets, tell me. Do you know about your big secret, he asks, with a smirk on his face. As Naruto wondered what he was talking about. Maybe no, it couldn't be his parents. So it had to be the fox then. How foolish did Mizuki think he was? That he wouldn't find out that he had a giant, powerful demonic between his stomach. He decided to play along. What big secret, he asks. Do you know what happened the day you were born? Has anyone ever told you why you were hated? Why Aruka looked at you with distrust in his eyes? Has anyone ever told you that, Mizuki said? As Naruto started to laugh rather loudly. You're gonna tell me about the fox, aren't you, he said, in his fits of laughter. Oh my god, this is rich, he said. Mizuki's eyes widened. What was gonna be his trump card to distract Naruto just got ripped up right in front of him, and there was nothing that he could do about it. Are you actually stupid enough to believe that, after living for the past 18 years with that giant fox in my stomach, I would never figure that out? Wait, are you really that stupid, said Naruto, seeing the look on the man's face. My god, you are stupid, Naruto said. Mizuki clenched his fists. You're a monster, he said. You know, you should have been nicer to me then. Monsters are dangerous, and in a world, people die like flies. With that, the original Naruto slouching behind him, There was a cup of coffee in his hand, as he planned on drinking it, but things escalate more than he expected. Surprised, said Naruto as he splashed it right in Mizuki's face when he turned. He let out a howl of agonizing pain, as a squad of ninjas, including the Hokage secretary herself, had shown up. As Naruto figured that the Hokage had let in a few people on the plan, so these were those people, as he slapped chakra suppressors on Mizuki before he tied him up. The scroll is empty, you imbecile, said Naruto as he tore the scroll up, as Mizuki averted his eyes. You really are a fly, said Naruto. Orochimaru probably didn't even want the scroll because if he did, he would have sent someone more competent. Other than you waste of space, he said, as he spat right in the man's face as the ninjas moved in. As Naruto turned towards the Hokage assistant, he never knew that she was even a ninja. Now that's good coffee, he said. Time skip, as Naruto was back there feeling rather guilty. Catching him was one thing, but spitting on his face was rather unnecessary. I know what you did. I know that you copied the scroll. As Naruto felt guilty for doing that, without the old man knowing, however, it seems like he did. How did you know, he said. Naruto, at my age, you learn how to read people. The moment you came in my room yesterday, in the afternoon, I know that you wanted the scroll for yourself. Which is why I gave you enough time to take the things that you want to take, without harming yourself, or harming someone else. But keep this in mind next time, you have to ask me. Do you understand that? As Naruto nodded. As the old man wasn't finished though. I'm too old to feel betrayed. I'm over that. And I hope you use whatever you take as wisely as you can. But I doubt it. You're smart. But you're still foolish, he said. It sounds like the old man was chiding him. He felt like a kid, having his hand caught in a cookie jar. Orochimaru's mistake was being too intelligent. He got too carried away. He did things that he thought he could get away with. And he lost himself in the process, Hiruzen said. He was a good man once in a distant time. I was old. Not as how I'm old right now. He got lost. That's the problem with being a genius. You can get lost in it really quickly. And it won't be too long before you become someone else. As Naruto felt a bit uncomfortable, as he wished something could puncture the silence. I want to promote you, Hiruzen said, but you need some experience doing grunt work. If you don't appreciate that, you can never become a good leader. Maybe I don't want to be a good leader, said Naruto. If it was up to you, Naruto, you probably would be all flying on that earboard, or whatever you call it, and drinking coffee. But unfortunately, when you make certain choices, you get responsibilities on your shoulder. Like them or not, and being a leader is going to be a responsibility that you will have to take up soon. It's in your blood. The old man was right, it was in his blood. From what he had learned about his mother, she was of royal blood, direct descendant of the last Uzukage, and his father's tales were told throughout the world. Some hated him, many feared him. Maybe it was wrong to fear someone that wasn't even around anymore, but the magnitude of the Yellow Flash had came down through the generations, and even Naruto had to look over his shoulder as well. You are talented, Hiruzen said, as Naruto sat there and listened. You lack experience, but you have a disposition to lead, and you don't realize it yet. There are a lot of things that one learns about himself once he gets old, and you haven't realized this yet. But we need men like you, Hiruzen said. As Naruto didn't know what to feel, it sounded like the old man was miserable. Maybe he was still blaming himself for what happened with Orochimaru, teaching a mass murderer that people come to fear, that he turned people's life into hell was really hard and won. If you're still worried about him being your student and hatching some kind of sinister plot, I would stop right now, said Naruto. Mizuki, isn't that good enough for Orochimaru to know that? This was probably just a Hail Mary. Tell me though, said Naruto, what's gonna happen to him though? He's gonna die. He revealed a secret that was punishable by death, and it was my law to make it punishable by death. That is what will happen to him. But before that though, we are going to extract what we can from him, which I'm sure that is not really important. Naruto nodded at that. Orochimaru was a smart man. Mizuki was stupid. He would never trust him with something important. As Hiruzen reached as he pulled out a pipe. I think Asuma became a chain smoker because of this pipe. But try as I might, I won't be able to quit it, he said. It's too late now to start though. As he lit the pipe. Now, time to discuss your reward. I think not being punished for stealing a scroll that is forbidden to be seen by anyone is a reward enough. Wouldn't you say, Naruto, he asked. As Naruto smiled, he figured that this was gonna happen. Yeah, I'll make do without a reward, he said. Out of curiosity, what were you gonna ask me if I had not found out? This was a loaded question and Naruto was a man of research. as he was rich enough not to need money to push his research forward, and he wasn't petty enough to ask about team placement or things like that. Those were really not important to him. However, he had dived into Earth's research and he found out some things that he wanted to advance upon. He had read the research that caused the death of a lot of orphan babies, and one of them had survived, and he always wanted to know what happened to that baby as well. The experiment with the babies and the wood release cell. I wanted to study the blood of the one that survived. I wanted to better understand cell structure and the cell structure of the first Hokage more than anything else. So I wanted to study that. Here's the reason I ran at that. I didn't know that you were interested in gaining bloodlines, Naruto. I thought your experiments, weapons made you unique enough to not require a bloodline. Yes, but those experiments were the basis of another type of seal. I'm sure you understand which seal I'm talking about, and I want to get rid of said seal. The cursed seal of fate. It is named appropriately at least. Hiruzen said. I'll consider your request, but for now leave, he said. You deserve your rest, and I surely deserve mine. And leave through the door, he said, as Naruto groaned as he slowly walked through the door as he made his way. As the secretary shot him a dirty look, as Naruto simply winked at her. Time skip, it was about 6 in the morning as Naruto arrived at Uncle's place, and she was in her night clothes, and she looked completely ravishing to him, as she seemed incredibly desirable that he just wanted to go over there and take her in his arms. Like I said, 6 in the morning, said Naruto, as he moved in to give her a kiss, but she moved away. What the hell, said Naruto. The last thing I want is for you to do this to me right now. I am not some puppet that you get to screw whenever you want. You don't just decide a time and a place where you can get to screw me. I am not a whore, she said, as Naruto wondered if it was because of his rush goodbye why she was so angry at him. I don't think you're a whore, said Naruto. I think you're a pretty good person, and I respect you. Where is all of this coming from? Who are you, she said. You get your own secret ops, and you have a direct contact to the Hokage. Why is that, she said, as Naruto figured that her concerns were valid. Their sexual encounters began when he came to look at the cursed seal. And what do you plan to do with the design of the seal, she asked. So now we get to the question, said Naruto. It's pretty simple though, and I think I already told you. I want to study the seal. I don't want to hear that, she said. She pinned him against the wall. A lot of people wanted to study the seal. Have you also slept with all of them, Naruto asked. She slapped him across the face. It was not a light-hearted slap, she really slapped him. Maybe I deserve that, he said. Why do you want to study the seal, she asked, as Naruto wanted to know himself. Was it because he was just curious about it? But when it comes to it, he didn't really know, and that is exactly what he told her. What do you mean you don't know, she said. I like to do research. Of course you don't know this about me. The people who know me long enough and well to know do. And if I can help it, I want to. Eliminate all the negatives that come from the seal, and keep the positive. So you're one of those people, huh? Are you gonna promise me that you're gonna remove the seal? Because people have done that before, and they've used me before. So, this is not new to me. Then I'm using you, said Naruto. I like your body, and I like having sex with you. And I'm also interested in the curse mark, and I like doing research. So if you think that he's using you, then yes. I'm going to be honest with you. I told you that 2 days ago, and I'm going to repeat it once again. If I can study the seal, then I can find a way to cure it, and then I will give this cure to you. I don't promise anything, but I'm being real here, he said. What makes you think you're going to succeed where seal masters like Jiraiya had failed? Let me ask you something, and don't slap me, he said, and be honest. Did you sleep with Jiraiya, he asked, as she shook her head no. See, he's a pervert, and he couldn't get into your pants. But I didn't even have to try, he said. But the real answer is, I'm better than him. Look me in the eyes, he said, as she tried to avert her eyes, but he forced her to look at him. I am better than him, and I can succeed where he failed, but I won't start succeeding if I don't try. As Uncle released him from the wall as she removed her night clothes, a grin came on his face. Of all the women that he's been with, which is not that much, she has the best body. As Naruto reached up as his hand went over the seal. What are you going to do now, she said. How are you going to study it? I need to get a taste of what the cursed seal can do, he said. I need to learn what it do when your body reacts to it. As he pushed her back on the bed, flipping her over. As he then went down. I'm pretty sure the cursed seal is not. She was cut off. Time skip. What's that smell? He asked. He and Uncle had lasted for about a couple of hours when he realized the team placements were going to be earlier this time. He did not sleep. It was obvious as Shikamaru asked him if he was alright. Naruto liked Shikamaru. He was smart. Not as smart as him, but he was pretty smart. Shikamaru would make a good second in command, as he planned ahead for things. He didn't plan as far as Naruto, but he planned ahead for things, and Naruto liked that about him. It was obvious that Shikamaru didn't hold a grudge against him either, because while he avoided Naruto, he avoided everyone else, except for Choji. There were other people in the class, but he hadn't been there long enough to form an opinion on all of them. He knew Kiba was a player, who would probably sleep with half of the civilian girls in the class. Hinata was shy. She would probably scandalize at something that she even thought was naughty. Shino was a bit weird, but he was alright. Ino seemed like one of those girls that were just enticing. Her outfit left little to the imagination, as she was like one of those treasures found at a dungeon. But she was also annoying, as her heart apparently belonged to Sasuke already. As Naruto wondered if she's been with him in that way already too. Or maybe it was with someone else, he wondered. Choji was alright. Out of all the people, he was the friendliest, and that was alright with Naruto. Sakura was a pretty good person once you got past that fangirl thing. She didn't seem to hold a grudge against him, unlike the other people in the village. Sasuke was a pretty piece of work. Maybe it was because that he was jealous of Naruto. The moment he laid eyes on him, there was never any good interaction between them. Maybe he was jealous because he never got to skip class while Naruto was able to do that without any punishment. However, it was Sakura that spoke to him, as she was wearing a different outfit. It was still the same color, but it was now showing off some of her curves and her chest as well. Nice outfit, he said, as she smiled. So, did you put my voice to good use, she asked. Oh yeah, I listen to it every night before I go to sleep, he said. She playfully smacked him on the shoulder as she sat beside him. Aren't you supposed to sit next to Sasuke, he asked. Maybe, but I've given up on him. He's never gonna be interested in me or any of the other girls. I'd rather be friends with Ino once again than waste my time on something that is not going anywhere. But you never answer my question. What's that smell? I think you already know, otherwise you wouldn't have repeated your question, said Naruto. Okay, she said. Who is it, she asked. Would you like to know, said Naruto as he turned his gaze, as Ame was at the door waving at him. How much did you do it today, she said, because it's rather strong. Well, I had to celebrate. After all, I became a ninja, he said. Indeed, she said, with a tiny wink. However, Aruka came in the room, interrupting them. As Aruka looked rather frazzled, it seems like he did not take Mizuki's betrayal in a positive way. As Naruto felt sorry for him, but at the same time he got some satisfaction from seeing him a bit miserable. That was not gonna change, it seems. Alright, so you people made it, he said, looking towards them, as he glanced towards Naruto. I'm sure that if you continue your career with something to prove, that you will all go far, he said. But for today you made it, and you deserve your applaud, he said as he clapped his hands, as the others started to applaud each other as well. As Naruto applauded himself for what he did 2 hours ago. Sakura had a smile on her face as she clapped as well. Sasuke looked like you want to be anywhere rather than here. Now I'm going to tell you who your partners are. These people will be your teammates from now on, he said. You know, I don't think I want to be in a team with you, said Naruto. She looked a bit surprised by that and a bit hurt. Why is that? Because I would be too distracted around you, he said, giving her a smile, as she blushed a bit here and that. Be careful with me, Naruto Uzumaki, she said, because if you begin to flirt with me, you might find out that I'm more than you can handle. Is that so, said Naruto. Alright, said Aruka. Now usually we do this in another order, but things have come today, meaning that we have to change the entire system. You will meet your teachers next week, and report for assignment the day after. So until then, listen out, he said, as Naruto was too busy in his thoughts to hear the first few names, as he was hoping that he would get Sakura as a teammate, and Anko as his sensei. Now that would be awesome. Team 7, as he arrived at that, Naruto heard his name, will be Naruto Uzumaki. As Naruto perked up, Sakura Haruno and Shikamaru Nara, he said, as Naruto smiled towards Sakura, as she smiled right back at him. Get ready to handle me, she said, as Naruto nodded. Team 8 is gonna be Ino Yamanaka, Kiba Inuzaka, and Sasuke Uchiha, he said, as Ino threw her hands up in the air, and her shirt was almost lifted up, revealing her chest. As Kiba was grinning, Sasuke had this neutral expression on his face. He could be thinking about candy bars, tomato, or what. Naruto would not know. Team 9 is out of commission this year, which means the final team is Team 10, Hinata Hyuga, Choji Akimichi, and Shino Aberami. There was no real reaction out of that. We still don't have your instructors locked down because of some Unfortunate circumstances, Aruka said. But show up here on Monday. Spend some time with your comrades to make sure that you guys are functional. Dismiss, he said. Naruto, I wish to speak with you. As once they were alone, Aruka spoke. I know that you were responsible for apprehending Mizuki, he said. As Naruto simply nodded. The whole academy is going to be invested for corruption, and I want to thank you for that. As Naruto wasn't too surprised. Aruka was a good person after all, but he was still not going to change his mind on what he planned to do. I want you to know that Naruto cut him off. I already know what you're going to say. You're going to say that you never sabotaged me, and you always treated me fairly. I agree with you on that. You treat me fairly when it came to class work, and the investigation in the academy would prove that. But you don't have to tell me those things. I was angry at you because I was angry at the world, and the way you dismiss me is the same way the world dismissed me. And I'm going to prove you wrong, and I'm going to prove all those bastards wrong as well. And there's nothing that you can do about it, said Naruto. Good, Aruka said. That's all I wanted to tell you, he said. As Naruto got up to leave. Good luck on your career, Naruto, he said. I hope you achieve what you're looking for. He said to him, a few parting words, as Naruto simply left with a nod. When Naruto came out of the compound of the building, he saw the place as the last time you'd ever come here. He hadn't really grown an attachment to this place, but he really feel like in a short few days he had changed a lot. There was a lot more that he wished to go over now, a lot more that he wished to do. As he turned to leave, he found Sakura and Shikamaru waiting for him. What are you guys doing here, said Naruto. Surprised that he waited up. This is troublesome, Shikamaru said, as Sakura eyebrow twitched at that. Haven't I asked you not to say that word, she said. Oh, come on, he said. Anyway, we must get to know each other better. And I want to go watch clouds together, and Sakura here wants to go eat. What do you think we should do? As Naruto stared at both of them before he threw his arm around Sakura, as she seemed to enjoy it because she did not resist or push away. How about we get some coffee, and maybe some cake, and then we go watch clouds. My treat. Sounds good, he said. Yep, said Sakura as they start to walk, as Shikamaru looked towards the two of them. My god, you're gonna end up screwing each other, aren't you, he said. Sakura seemed scandalized at that. Come on, it doesn't have to be weird, said Naruto. It's just my arm, he says. He threw his other arm around Shikamaru, who groaned. You know guys, I think this is gonna be the start of something beautiful, he said, as Sakura laughed as Shikamaru groaned. Time skip. When Naruto went back home, the first thing he did was got in bed. His eyes were burning and he looked in the mirror, it was red. He has been sacrificing his sleep too much, and he realized, drinking coffee all the time, it was gonna have its ups and downs. Almost 10 hours later, he opened his eyes, as he saw that it was dark outside. This was gonna affect his sleeping hours, and he just knew it. Good morning, sir. Or should I say, good evening. Oh, stop being so sarcastic, said Naruto. Would you like to hear about my analysis so far, she said. That's assuming that you got anywhere, said Naruto. Oh, I got somewhere, sir. Thanks to our wonderful knowledge of Seal. We are not completely lost on this, she said. Even though I have to say this has been the most complex seal I ever came across. As Naruto sighed. Of course it was complex. This is not the work of some amateur who picked up sealing art and decided to go about it. This was a genius who had went through thousands of people, killing, to do his research to get that an uncle. So it had to be some kind of cryptic damn shit that was gonna be hard to remove. There had to be some more people out there with a seal on them. However, it was gonna be hard to find them. And with him now a shinobi, it was gonna be even more hard. So what have you found out other than this seal is hard to crack, said Naruto. I found out that we need to conduct our own experiments and see for ourselves. Because theoretical knowledge can only get us so far, sir. And maybe we need to pull some more research towards this. And put everything else on hold. And that includes the uranium as well. Uranium. Something that even Orochimaru found too dangerous to mess with. He had his stuff stashed away, as there was plenty of sealing containing it in his parents' house. That was another thing to be done. He had to move to his parents' house. As much as he loved this place, it was time to look for something bigger. We do have some free time this week, said Naruto. Time skip. As Naruto looked over the village, he stood on top of the head of Hoshiram Senju, as the place was a beautiful sight to see right now. The lights all over. You can't beat the view, a voice said, as Naruto glanced to see Jiraiya behind him. Since he last saw him, Jiraiya hadn't changed much. He was still as tall. His old age seemed to be affecting him though. However, he refused to let it show, as he still showed an incredible, imposing figure. Maybe it was his height or his markings. People had a tendency to underestimate him, but he reeked of power. And not to mention the man was smart as well. But all of that was impeded by all of the perverse things that he did. As Naruto couldn't blame him though. If he hadn't found research maybe, he would be doing something like peeping as well. I used to come here often when I was your age, staring at the marvel of the powerful Shirama Senju, said Jiraiya, as he looked around the forest that surrounded the village. He made all of this after all, and all of the forest around it. Someday I just dream. I dream I could be the most powerful person in this village, apart so I could impress the love of my life. Did it work, said Naruto. Not really. She loved someone else. She only saw me as an annoying pervert. But I doubt most of that was my fault though. And I doubt even if I changed it wouldn't have done anything. Are you talking about Tsunade, said Naruto. Yep, once I peep on her, like I do, in the hot springs. As Naruto laughed, that couldn't have gone well at all. If you're laughing because you think it went south, then yes it did. She beat the daylight out of me. She nearly killed me. I never thought she would take it that far. You deserve it, said Naruto, as Jiraiya nodded. You're probably right, he said, as Naruto took a breath before he exhaled. So, what brings you here this time of night? Nothing good, I'm afraid, said Jiraiya. Of course I can't tell you though. The information is need to know. So you're gonna have to take your thirst for knowledge somewhere else. As he was well aware of Naruto's nature for knowing everything. Were you seeking me out or this was some kind of nostalgia trip, said Naruto? I heard you're moving into Minato House, so I just want to go and congratulate you, said Jiraiya. It might sound kind of disingenuous, but you really deserve this, he said. I used to be angry about that, said Naruto, but now I'm over it, I guess. Nothing like time to heal mental wounds. You seem to have gotten wiser, but you have a long way to go when it comes to the wisdom department. Jiraiya was right about that. Him and the old man had been around a lot longer than he had, and they had seen the world for what it truly was. So he wasn't offended when he heard this. However, there was something he wanted to know. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. But I need you to give me the notes that you have on the cursed seal. Maybe there was something that you saw that can help me out to remove it. Good on you, kid. If anyone can remove it, you can, said Jiraiya. So you're gonna give me the notes? Sure. Expect them tomorrow. But right now I'm off to the hot spring, said Jiraiya. I'll see you tomorrow as you start to walk away. Wait, it's late in the night. I don't think you're gonna find anyone there now. Well, I don't intend to find a woman in there tonight. I intend to take a bath, he said, as he gave Naruto a salute before he vanished. Well, that's Jiraiya and Naruto thoughts, as he calmly made his way down. But guys, if you end subscribe right here, if you want to see the next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted, and also, don't forget to stay tuned for the rest of what is coming your way, and I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we get the hell out of here? See you guys soon, peace.